Lifelong Democrat Alan Dershowitz has finally had enough of this new Democrat Party that this country's trying to get used to. Dershowitz is now switching to an independent voter, he says, and the professor joins us tonight to talk about that. Sir, it's good to have you back on. So tell us, we're right before an election here. What was the final straw?
The convention, having all those hard left, radical, many of them anti-Semitic speakers, people like Keith Ellison, who may be the next attorney general, who was a big supporter of Louis Farrakhan, the bigoted head of the Black Muslim movement, Reverend Sharpton, who led an anti-Semitic pogrom against Jews in the Bronx and in Brooklyn. These were featured speakers. AOC, who calls Israel a genocidal country. Senators Warren and Sanders, who walked out on Benjamin Netanyahu's speech. Harris herself, who refused to comply with her constitutional duty to preside over the Senate when Netanyahu was speaking. And then the final straw was President Biden, an old friend of mine who I really used to like, saying that the thugs outside who were calling for a Hamas victory and death to America and Israel had some, quote, good points. This was not my party. I just felt appalled when I watched the Democratic National Convention. And I said, you know, I've been a Democrat since 1953 when I started working as a kid for Democratic candidates. I voted for every Democratic candidate for president since John Kennedy. And I may still vote for Democratic candidates if they're better than the opponents. But I can't associate myself with the party itself.
The parties, you know, you said you've known Biden a long time. You've been a Democrat a long time. Something, though, has changed in this political party. Pennsylvania is far and away the most important state for Kamala Harris. It made no sense that she didn't pick the man on the screen right there in this election, because you knew it was going to be tight, and they knew that their road went through Pennsylvania. So if she loses it, she's basically done that state. And she didn't pick the governor of the state. I think she didn't pick the governor of the state because the governor of the state is Jewish.
You're 100% right. It's not 98% right. It's 100% right. If his name was John Shepard and he was an Episcopalian, of course he'd be the nominee. He's the governor of the most important state and one of the most popular governors in the country. But AOC would have walked out of the convention. There would have been protests. There might have even been violence because there are so many anti-Semites in leadership positions in the Democratic Party who could not abide the notion that an Orthodox Jewish Zionist might become the vice president of the United States. And so it's not that Kamala Harris is anti-Semitic. I don't think she is. It's that she gave in to the anti-Semites. And that's what's happening in the Democratic Party today. The fringe of the party, the squad, people like Warren and Sanders are having far too much influence on the Democratic Party.
It's certainly true. The other thing I think it's pushed you a little, and we've had great conversations on the show about it, is free speech, which is just so integral and important to this country's functionality and remaining a free country and for us to remain free people. You reminded us in a segment we had, it was maybe a year or two ago, but it was a great thing that you pointed out that I'll never forget. You reminded that how it wasn't that long ago that the ACLU fought in this country to protect the speech of Nazis, to protect the right of Nazis to be able, because they understand you're involved in it, because, and it's not because, I mean, it's despicable speech. It's the worst of it. It's the worst of humanity, but it's so important to protect it because of it's just, you have to. It's foundational to the country. They no longer believe that. The Democrat Party, the left, no longer believes in that, which is, I think, the scariest thing of all.
Well, they believe in free speech for me, but not for thee. They believe in the double standard. You can call for genocide against the Jews, and that's constitutionally protected. But if you use the wrong pronoun to describe a transgender person, or you say something that is offensive to an African-American person or a gay person, you can be suspended. It's a double standard of free speech, which is worse than no standard, because it means that only one part of the marketplace of ideas gets to be used and the other part is shut down. And the Democrats haven't done enough to protect against that. They haven't done enough also to protect vulnerable students on college campuses. And they have created inequality through their support of what they call diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is just skin color diversity, lack of equality, and exclusion. And that's been supported by Kamala Harris and the Democrats. And I don't support that. And I think most Democrats don't support it. The Democratic Party is out of sync with Democratic voters. We are a moderate centrist nation. And the first party that realizes that and moves toward the center, which the Republicans are doing more than the Democrats today, they will win the election. And they will get my support and the support of others who believe strongly in a moderate centrist government.
I got 10 seconds left. You going to vote for Trump?
I don't know. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see the debate. Let's all watch the debate, make decisions based on the totality of the circumstances. I don't like early voting, and I'm not going to vote early.
Professor, good to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.